Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the real stories behind financial filings. And today we're diving into Gen Digital's latest report, but trust me, there's more to it than just numbers. There's a shareholder vote that tells us a lot about how this company is being run under new leadership. Before we jump in, if you love getting clear, no-nonsense breakdowns of what's really happening in the corporate world, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you want to go even deeper, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. So Gen Digital held its annual meeting of stockholders on September 9th, 2025, and this report is all about what happened at that meeting, specifically what the shareholders voted on and how those votes turned out. This is where you really see the power of ownership. Gen Digital, as you know, is a big player in cybersecurity, keeping our digital lives safe. But how are the people who own pieces of the company, the stockholders, feeling about its direction? Let's look at the votes. The first major item was the election of the board of directors. Think of these as the captain steering the ship. The shareholders had to approve 9 nominees, and most of them got a really strong showing. Take Sue Barsamian, for example. She received over 446 million votes in favor. That's a massive endorsement. Almost every single share voted for her election. Pavel Bodis also had a fantastic result with over 460 million votes in favor. That's more than 460 million reasons to be positive about his role. Now, Eric K. Brandt, on the other hand, got a bit more pushback with 46 million votes against him. While still elected, that's a significant number of shareholders saying they weren't entirely comfortable with his re-election. It's a signal worth noting. John Sue Crystal had a phenomenal result with minimal opposition, just over 300,000 votes against out of over 460 million in favor. Clearly a very popular choice among shareholders. Vincent Paulette also saw a notable number of votes against him, over 24 million. This suggests some shareholders might have concerns about his performance or perhaps his compensation. Andrei Volchek had a very similar voting pattern to Pavel Bodis, with a very strong majority in favor and very few dissenting votes. Ultimately, all 9 directors were elected, which means the current leadership structure will continue for another year. But those votes against give us a peek behind the curtain into potential shareholder sentiment. Next up was the ratification of KPMG as the company's independent auditor for the upcoming fiscal year. This is a pretty standard procedure. It means shareholders are basically saying they trust KPMG to check the company's financial books, and they overwhelmingly approved it with over 460 million votes in favor. This shows a strong confidence in KPMG's ability to provide an objective look at Gen Digital's finances. This is often where things get interesting, the advisory vote on executive compensation. Think of it as a say-on-pay vote. Shareholders get to voice their opinion on how much the top executives are paid and whether it aligns with the company's performance. Here we see over 430 million votes in favor of the executive compensation package. This indicates that a majority of shareholders believe the pay is fair for the work done. However, there were over 30 million votes against it and nearly 2 million abstentions. So while it passed, it wasn't a unanimous victory. It's also important to note the broker non-votes. These are shares held by brokers that didn't have specific instructions from the beneficial owner on how to vote, and in this case there were over 28 million of them for this proposal, consistent across the board for director elections. So what can we gather from all this? Well, the shareholders are largely backing the current board, but there are definitely individual directors that some investors are watching more closely. The auditor appointment was a clear win, and the executive pay package received majority support, but with a significant minority expressing concerns. This suggests the board and management need to keep an ear to the ground regarding shareholder satisfaction on compensation. Looking at the bigger picture, Gen Digital operates in a critical but competitive cybersecurity market. The performance of its directors and executives directly impacts its ability to innovate and stay ahead of threats, and shareholder confidence, as reflected in these votes, plays a role in attracting investment and maintaining a stable stock price. The fact that most directors were re-elected smoothly suggests the company is generally on a path that shareholders approve of, but the votes against certain directors and the executive pay are important cues for the company to potentially address any underlying concerns to ensure continued strong support. In my opinion, Gen Digital seems to have a solid foundation with strong shareholder backing for its leadership team. The election results generally reflect approval of their strategy. However, the dissenting votes on specific directors and executive compensation are not to be ignored. They represent opportunities for the company to improve communication with its shareholders and ensure that executive pay truly reflects the company's performance and overall value creation. For owners, the cybersecurity landscape is constantly evolving, and maintaining shareholder trust is just as important as staying ahead of cyber threats. What's your take on these voting results? Do you think the executive compensation is fair given the company's performance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to join the Discord community to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.